Hello everyone, and welcome to the beginning of the end of my Lucid Dream Discourse series. I'm Stephen Berlin, and I said in my very first talk that this was going to be a short series. And now this is number 12, and I'm at risk of, pushing my luck here, or pushing the limits of your patience. So, I'm going to wrap this up with dream devices. I will have one other segment where I kind of give the rules of engagement and protocol for when I open this up to comments and video responses. So let me get moving here. I also want to say that another reason I need to wrap this up, I know I've gotten a lot of really nice letters from people, and I want to really thank you for those. They've meant a lot to me over the period of doing these, to continue. But I've gotten out my transcendent dreams, which was my primary purpose in doing this, and I've also gotten out a lot of really important information on advanced lucid dreaming fundamentals, I think. So I don't want to overly influence you and your lucid dreams. I talk about my dreams moving forward with major transform motion and very quickly. Well, I'm sure there are Buddhist lucid dreamers, and their dreams are still and tranquil and serene. So there's room for all of this. I want someone to hear about those experiences, and then I have, how the way my mind and my dreams work, and share my experiences with you. So I think I've done that, and I will start another series, a little bit more expanded than on lucid dreaming in a couple of months. So for those of you that want to, deal with me anymore, you can look forward to that. Okay, dream devices. Let's start going. This is the Nova Dreamer, which was produced by the Lucid Institute, and there are other ones like this on the market. I don't think this is sold anymore. It might be, but there are some made in the United States, and some variations of this, and some also made in Europe. So if you want to buy one of these, I think they're not cheap, but they might be worth the money to you. And check into customer service, technical support, and read reviews before you buy. All right. Well, the premise of the Nova Dreamer was to cue you that you're dreaming. This is a mask that you wear to bed at night, and it's got foam cutouts. It's very comfortable. It attaches it with Velcro at the back of your head, and it has a little device that slides into the front of the mask, powered by 2 AAA batteries. And what it does is you set it by pushing like the front of the button on the front of the mask like 5 times, and it will wait like 50 minutes, 10 for each push, before it starts scanning your eyelids, or 90 minutes, which is when you usually have your first dream period. And then there's a little infrared sensor in the mask that detects your jittery, rapid eye movement eyes. It knows you're dreaming. I think it gives you a minute or two to get you securely in your dream, and then the mask starts flashing lights at you in your dream. And it flashes lights in any way you want to program them. You can have them alternate, you can have them simultaneous, you can make them long, you can make them short. You can do it 3 times, you can do it 20 times, you can make them dim, you can make them intense, all kinds of programmable features. And with sound, beep, 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 they even do that. So the idea is that when the mask notices that you're dreaming, that you will go, oh, that's my dream mask going off, I'm in a dream, and become lucid. That's the advertised premise of these. Does it work? Well, yes, I've had cases where it's done exactly that. Does it work all the time? No. Matter of fact, 99 out of 100 times it doesn't work, and I'm going to explain to you why. All right, now for me, my mask, when I started seeing flashing lights in here, I'm a recovering alcoholic, y'all don't know that by now. When I start seeing flashing lights in my dream, I look in my rearview mirror and there's the cops chasing me. And I was even flying lucid in a dream once, and my mask started to go off. And I looked around, and the police were even in helicopters coming after me. I thought, hey, what's the deal? Was I featured on America's Most Wanted dreaming drunk? Come on, leave me alone. So I tried to outwit my mask. So I set it on since that was the typical reaction I was getting, was the cop thing. So I put them on the highest possible intensity and the longest possible pulse. And it was like blinding. I mean, these lights can really be bright right through your closed eyelids. So I thought, let's see what my dream comes up with there, because that certainly can't be police lights. Well, in that particular dream that night, I was standing in the nursing station at the Las Vegas State Mental Hospital where I worked. And I was and I was standing inside the nursing station talking to, fellow employees, and suddenly this goes off. And I was just blinded. Just the whole scene, the whole dream scene just went away. And I thought to myself, there's a power failure. The floodlights are blinding me. Oh man, where do they get these floodlights? An immediate explanation. Now let's move on to the dream speaker to give you another example of the same phenomenon. They made a dream speaker which plugs into your dream mask, and it will, you can record anything you want. You're dreaming, this is a dream, do a reality check, blah, blah, blah. Well, none of that worked for me. So I decided, well, I'm going to outwit this again. So I just unlaunched into this every terrible, perverted expletive I could come up with. I called myself every filthy name in the book. And I do swear, but, not to that extent. So I thought, it'll be interesting to see how my dream interprets that. Well, sure enough, I'm in my dream and I'm talking to two ladies. And I'm talking to them, and this my dream speaker starts going off. And all of a sudden, all of these really horrific, terrible words in my voice start coming out while I'm talking to these two ladies. And they look at me, and they're dream characters, but their eyes get really big, as though I'm, Charles Manson with Tourette syndrome. And fortunately, I looked down, and thank God for dreams. I looked down, and there was a suitcase on the floor, and I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, ladies. In my carry-on luggage, I brought my dream speaker with me, and it's going off in my suitcase." And I started fumbling with my, luggage there, trying to get it to stop. So now, what's happening here? What's happening is your dream is coming up with a homologous variation, a pattern recognition. It sees lights and it searches through your past, it searches through all of the day residue of your past, and it finds something that it can use that's a plausible explanation in your dream, and therefore you don't notice it. It's incorporated into your dream. And this has nothing, in my opinion, to do with intelligence. I don't care whether you're high on the IQ scale or low. It's the way the brain works. Now, I'm pretty sure that for some people who are really focused, and I'm not, can train themselves to recognize every light source in their dream as possibly being their Nova Dreamer. Well, this may work to make them lucid very often. But for me, this is the best device on the planet to prove to you what I talked about in Discourse 11 and 10, Dynamics of Dream Emergence and Navigation in Dreams, how things move forward by homologous variation. Now I want you, very quickly, I want to point out that watch my discourses again. I'm not just trying to get views. But if you go back now to Discourse number 7 where I talked about day residue, now you'll realize that when I talked about that brown substance which was chocolate, and mud, and some other brown substance, that they're homologous variations. And I also say things in my discourses like, a pitfall of ground transportation is sexual temptations. Well, the message hidden in there is, if you want sexual temptations, ground transportation is probably the place to be. Although, I've been flying in a dream and, and had sexual temptations, and that's not. I'd rather be on the ground, because otherwise I'll end up in the backseat of a Thunderbird, and I don't want that to happen. So that's it. And I can't do anything about the waking world, but I certainly thank all of you that have watched me. I'm really grateful, and I wish you, in the dreaming world at least, peace.